So I'm starting sitting down. If you guys want to lie down, feel free. It's totally up to you. And we're going to take the biggest breath inwards for the day today. So take the biggest and fullest breath that you've taken since you woke up. Fill the whole body up with breath and then let it all go completely, cleansing yourself completely with that exhale. And we'll do that a few more times, taking the biggest and fullest breath of the day. Maybe letting yourself sigh out the mouth. And then continuing to breathe in and out through the nostrils. And we're going to do a little counting with our breath today. And I'll try my best to keep us going on a nice rhythm. But first, before we set a little time limit here, take your weight back into the seat bones a little bit if you're sitting down. And if you're lying down, just root down through the back, the whole surface area of the back. If you're sitting down, see if you can find those two little points beneath us. In order to do that, you may need to take your weight back ever so slightly. And then if you're lying down, maybe place your feet on the floor, lift your hips up and scoop that tailbone underneath you, setting it back down. And this is going to widen the surface area of your back and spread it out on the floor a little bit more. So you might feel more of your back. All right, I'm going to do my best with rhythm. I think I'm going to buy a metronome for yoga. But we're going to count to 4. Inhaling 4, exhaling 4. And then we're going to add 5 seconds. We're going to inhale 5, exhale 5. And if you want to start with 5, if you feel comfortable doing that, that's also an option. But I'm just going to do my best here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the inhale. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more cycle of this. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do 5 now. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, we can let it be natural and easy. We're going to jump back into that one more time. And this time we're going to try and hold our breath on the inhale for 3, 4, maybe 5 seconds. And then we'll exhale, hold the breath out at the bottom for 3, 4, 5 seconds or so. And I'll do my best to keep rhythm. Do your best to keep a consistent rhythm. And just be careful with the breath retention, you guys. If it's feeling lightheaded or dizzy, just forego this and just do that rhythmic breath up and down. Think of it as a cycle. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. All right, you got this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold the breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold the breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold the breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. Hold the breath. Exhale. Let it go. Hold the breath. One more good cycle here. Big inhale, maybe your biggest yet. Hold the breath, maybe the longest you've held the breath, if you feel like pushing it or not. Exhale, let it all go completely. And then just take a big breath in as we come out of that breath exercise. And just let the breath move freely. Noticing how the breath flows after that exercise. Just taking it in, settling the leg bones, letting the skin of the face be soft. And really letting the arms be heavy. And if you're lying down, come on up to a seated posture. We'll make our way to a seat together. Lengthening the crown of the head. The crown of the head and the back of the neck is an extension of the spine. So if we draw the chin slightly towards the throat and lift the crown of the head, we can attempt to, and hopefully probably successfully lengthen that spine, gaining some freedom and space. Keeping a nice lift through the heart and relaxed shoulders. We're going to bow our chin to our chest. And you'll feel a nice opening between the shoulder blades and the back of the neck. And then we're just going to tick-tock our head from side to side like the pendulum of a clock. And just kind of rock it back and forth. Keep that lift in the heart. Okay, and then we'll take a neutral chin. Keep lifting the heart, and lift the chin all the way up. Gaze upwards, and without crunching too much in the back of the head, or the neck, I should say, we'll lift the chin. And then we'll tick-tock right to left, like the pendulum of a clock. Awesome. And then we'll come back to a neutral chin, neutral spine. And we're going to take our hands to our shoulders now and bring the elbows to touch And then widen the elbows really big. And we'll just touch the elbows, widen the elbows, touch the elbows, widen the elbows. And we'll do this a few times. Let that breath be nice and full. All right, and then we're going to do one elbow at a time. So left elbow, right elbow, alternating. Kind of like you're swimming. One elbow and then the other elbow. Swimming forward. Imagining our trajectory forward and up, energetically and spiritually, that is forward and up. All right, and then we can just release this. Arms in our lap, taking a breath, letting that absorb. And we're just going to do some massage of the hands. So you can take your thumb and press the palm out, getting the knuckles of the fingers. And with the four fingers, getting the back of the wrist. And then you'll just alternate sides. So the thumb massages the palm of the hand and the four fingers get the back of the wrist. Make sure you get the knuckles. And then we're going to work our way down into the wrist and forearm. You can kind of squeeze like you're kneading dough. And you can do this at the same time, or you can alternate. And let's work our way up into the elbow. Maybe we do the elbow at the same time, or just simply alternate. And work your way up those arm bones, get the bicep and the tricep. And then work your way on up into the shoulders. So use your fingers to massage the trap. And you can kind of let the head roll around if you want here. Let your arms hang down. And really just enjoy this lovely moment to ease a little bit of stress and tension for yourself. It's not quite as good as somebody else doing it, but it's the next best thing. Awesome. And gently release and relax your arms back into your lap, letting the breath flow. Before we dive into a few twists, let's take some time to maybe set an intention, maybe make a dedication or a prayer. I'd like to just send positive thoughts out to those that are dealing with sickness and illness or ill health, and just sending some love and good energy towards those people for recovery and health and wellness. Just taking a moment for that, if that's okay with everybody. Just a moment here. Beautiful. All right, let's take a moment for a twist. So we'll twist, doesn't matter which way, maybe right hand to left knee, whatever, one way first. Gaze over that shoulder, keep the shoulders over the hips, rooting down. Nice gentle twist, not pushing too hard or trying to twerk at all. Twerk, I should say, sorry, not twerking. What a weird word. But not forcing, just lifting and letting yourself be light. And we'll inhale to center, twist the other way. Shoulders on top of the hips. Letting the breath flow. And inhale to center. All right, it's time to extend these legs out. So take the legs straight out in front of you. Remember, you can always sit on something. So I'm going to take the time here to kind of give myself a little cushion for my feet, for those two sit bones, the two bones right beneath us. And see if we can find comfort in staff pose or dandasana. So I like to pull my toes up and back to kind of gain that stability and strength at first. And as you begin to ease into the pose and find comfort, you might want to relax the ankles and toes. And this is really connecting with our core. Notice the stomach muscles fire up just a little bit. And we'll reach through the crown of the head once again, letting the arms be heavy. Seeing if we can find comfort and sustainability here, letting the breath flow. Let's take just 3 more breaths in this relatively easy pose, which may not feel so easy right now. 1, 2, 3. Cool. Okay, we're going to take a fold forward. So I'd like us to grab onto the feet, but bend your knees just a little bit. So maybe we're feeling extra flexible today and we don't think we need to bend our knees, but I'm going to recommend we just kind of let those knees pop up off the floor ever so slightly. And if you still can't reach your feet, then I would bend your knees even more. You can take your feet a little bit wider, or you can grab onto the ankles, of course, is also an option. But I like that hand to foot connection because you can push and pull at the same time. And keep that chin lifted. Find a nice broad heart space and reach the heart forward towards the feet, keeping the chin lifted. Pull the shoulder blades together behind you. And see if we can find an upper back bend in a sense, sort of finding cow pose. So letting the heart and rib cage lift forward and see if you can find an upper back arch. So mine's not arching, but I'm working towards an arch. And then we're going to let the head fall, pull the rib cage back behind you towards the back of the room. Maybe the knees straighten a little bit, and we bow the head for a seated forward fold cat variation. And we're just going to shift from cow to cat a few times. If you want, you can inhale into that cow, carving a line with your nose towards the ceiling, lifting the heart, maybe bending the knees deeply. And then exhale, pull the belly button back and drop the head. And move really slowly at first. Maybe you gain speed after doing it a few more times. Maybe not. But see if we can find that same cat-cow that we usually do in tabletop or seated. Inhaling. Exhale. Inhaling, lifting the heart. Exhaling, releasing the heart. A few more times. Awesome job. Let's do 3 more good ones. Maybe your knees have straightened out a little bit more naturally, more easily. We can straighten them. And then on this last one, inhale big. Exhale, let's hang out in a seated forward fold, Paschimottanasana. Maybe we reach a little bit further down the feet. Maybe we can tickle our wrists with our toes. Maybe not. We're all in a different place in our journey, guys. Letting go of expectations, but doing what feels right, whatever forward fold feels best to you. And we'll hang out, literally hanging out for a little bit. Letting go of tension in the jaw, in the shoulders, in the neck, and the hips. Melting a little bit longer as we dive into this posture, loosening up the fascia, the connective tissue, getting the deep tissue massage and open. Kind of an intense pose for the beginning of class here, but it's towards the end of the day, so hopefully we're feeling a little bit limber. And if not, just breathing through it. You can always take something and place it under your head, a block or pillows. A massive pillow in front of you right here would be kind of awesome. And we'll hold for 3 more breaths. Very, very slowly rise. So roll on up like a slinky. Roll on up. Keep it slow. Keep it steady. Lifting that chin last. And let's adjust to being upright. Find your seat bones again and extend the crown of the head once again in this vertical position. Awesome. Okay, we're going to pull that right knee up and in. Hug the right knee in. You can interlace your fingers in front of the shin and notice the lift that provides us. Breathe into that for a few breaths. And then we're going to pick up the right foot with the right hand and draw our foot up and to the right for half happy baby, seated half happy baby. And you can play around here if you want to open the door a few times. The left hand can press down on the left thigh for grounding. And maybe movement doesn't feel good and we want to sit still for a little bit as we work our best to pull the shoulder in towards the body, into the socket, and pull the knee back, back, back as much as we can. Okay, take the right foot now and place it inside the left leg and pull the left foot in front of the right foot. So we came to easy pose, one foot in front of the other. And we're gonna reach the arms up really big. We've got a beach ball above us and we're just gonna hold the beach ball. Reach and extend as much as you can here. So just imagining or letting yourself take up as much space as possible. Kind of feel your whole body expanding away from the center. Okay, and then we're going to take a nice fold forward, catch the floor with your hands, and maybe walk on down to the elbows, maybe resting the head on your hands, kind of like the thinker, like that statue is a nice option if the floor feels like it's really far away. And maybe you're one of those people that can reach your arms forward and take your head all the way to the floor. Not quite there yet, one day. Let the breath flow. Feel the stretch through the outer hips. And as you breathe here, send your breath low into the abdomen and see if you can expand the back body. So take your attention and your awareness to the low back, to the sacrum, and see if you can expand that space of the back with breath. It's a little bit easier to let the belly lift and expand, but if we focus really closely, we can feel a very subtle micro movement of the low back with that breath. Make sure your seat bones are rooted too, you guys. That's really important here, especially if we're feeling low back feedback. We really want the hip bones rooted. So if your seat bones and hips are up off the floor, I would definitely slide blankets and pillows underneath you. Another fix is to use your arms to ground the hips down and back. So just kind of figuring out in that teeter-totter of the spine, what's working for you. But if we can connect the tailbone, the seat bones, and the head to support, that's best, especially as we hold it a little bit longer here. Big breath in and out. And then press the floor away from you. Slowly rise like a slinky. Come all the way up. Adjust to being upright. Lift the heart. And extend the legs straight back out in front of you for scaff pose. We'll take scaff pose for a few moments here. Maybe pointing and flexing the feet, rotating the ankles in circles, and wiggling the toes. Okay, now we'll take the left knee and hug it inwards. We can interlace the fingers the weird way in front of the shin, starting to open up some neurological pathways. Notice if that lifts our heart a little bit more. Notice the freedom we gain. Take one more big breath in and out. Okay, and we'll take half happy baby on this side. So the left hand grabs the left foot, and we can work that knee on the outside of the arm and push the foot away, pull the foot in with your hand. The right hand can stabilize the right leg. Maybe we open that swinging door a few times. Maybe stillness is the key. Keep pulling your shoulder, your upper arm bone into the shoulder socket so we're not getting too carried away. And then we'll place the left heel inside the right thigh and then take the right foot in front of the left for easy pose the other way. Get situated, and then we'll take the arms up really big, holding our beach ball above our head, filling the body up with breath and expanding as far and reaching as far as we want, as we can. And I like what Amy's doing. She inspired me. Let's rotate the wrists like we're painting circles with a paintbrush, one way and then the other way. And let's open and close the fingers a few times. And then we'll take a nice, beautiful fold forward. The hands touch the floor. We walk it down. And I'll repeat myself just one more time. Make sure your head and your seat bones and tailbone feel rooted and supported. And now I'll let you guys just breathe in a little bit of quiet, enjoying this posture, letting the back body expand with breath, taking your awareness to the low back. And the breath flows. Several more breaths to go. Enjoy the posture, connecting with the present moment. Okay, guys, time to come out. Nice and slow, rolling up like a slinky. Letting the arms be heavy as you grow tall. And taking a moment to observe the verticality, the shift, letting the blood flow. And we'll just take a few more breaths here. Awesome job. Okay, let's take tabletop. So we can slide our blanket out of the way from beneath us and keep a blanket under the knees and wrists if you've got that set up. And we'll walk the knees back so they're underneath the hips and the wrists are underneath the shoulders. Open those fingers really wide, like 2 Thanksgiving turkeys. And then we're going to take the right fingertips and see if we can point them towards us as we press the wrist down, stretching out the back of the wrist. Taking a few more breaths. And coming on out and switching hands. Left fingertips try to point towards us and we try to press the wrist down. My wrist is not connecting. It's okay. And you can really play around with how much weight your arms hold. If this is intense, just take on a little bit more weight through the legs. And back to center, fingers pointing forward. Tabletop. And we're going to curl the right toes under, press the right heel away from you. Just pressing the heel away, toes connected to our sticky mat, hopefully for some good traction. You can use your hands to kind of press the heel down as well. And then we're going to shift our weight forward again after pressing, and then take the toes all the way to the left. Gaze over the left shoulder and look at the right toes. Getting a nice stretch to the right hip. And see if you can lift the belly button up a little bit, just so we're engaged and lifting, pressing the hands down and creating space in the neck area. Okay, right toes back to center. Press the heel away from you one more time. That nice stretch to the hamstrings. And then back to tabletop. Switch legs. Left toes curl under. Press the left heel away. Hopefully getting some good traction with our sticky mat. And then we'll shift our weight forward once again and take the toes all the way to the right, gaze over the right shoulder. Taking some nice big breaths, creating space through the neck, lifting the belly and the rib cage slightly, pressing down through that foot. All right, and back to center. Press the heel away from you one more time. And we can just shift up into downward facing dog from here. So just curling both toes under and walking those hips up. Pressing the shoulders towards the feet. And taking a few really big breaths in and out. Okay, and walk forward to the front of your mat. Maybe you walk halfway up your mat and then the hands walk halfway back on your mat. That's a little cheat that I like to do. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Release your arms, your head, your torso. Let yourself be super heavy. Immediately, I feel amazing release and pressure through the neck and the head. So just enjoying this. You can grab opposite elbows. You can rock back and forth on the feet like they're rocking chair legs. That's always kind of nice. And we're able to find our center when we do that as well. If you introduce a little rocking and motion, you can then focus on where the middle is, where the center is, where our balance lies. Big inhale and big exhale. Change the cross of the arms. If you're grabbing the elbows, change the cross. Okay, and we'll roll on up like a slinky. Bend the knees, drop the tailbone as you begin to lift the shoulders. Let the arms and head hang heavy, and we'll very slowly come on up. Lifting that chin last. Take a moment in mountain pose. Take several moments to just adjust to being completely upright, standing, just noticing how that feels. Taking a cleansing breath in and out. Awesome. All right, we're going to balance on one foot. You can do your dominant leg first if you want. Find all four corners of the foot and hug your other knee up and in, just giving it a squeeze. We can interlace the fingers in front of the shin and point the foot, flex the toes at the same time for a nice energetic yogic foot, we call it. And press the knee into the hands as the hands pull back and the shoulders pull up and in. Take another breath or two. Okay, and then we're going to slide this left foot inside the right leg. I like to use my hands to pull it up. And if this is too high, just simply take your heel down to the ankle. And we'll find a steady spot to gaze at. Hands come to prayer. And we take a moment in balance, balancing, finding that steady spot to meditate on, taking your drishti down the nose and focusing on the teeniest of spots. Let's take one more big breath in and out. Awesome, gently release. And give it a little shake. We can kind of kick our feet, one and then the other. And then we can shake the hands gently. And maybe even swing from side to side. Maybe letting the hands kind of slap the hips. Before we do the other leg, let's take a chair pose, just a brief one. Let's sink down into chair, pull your belly button back, and reach those arms up like you're holding that beach ball. And then we'll pull the elbows back or feel goal post arms or cactus arms. And then stand up nice and tall. Okay, let's stand on our less dominant leg. Let's see if we can be just as strong. Find all four corners of the foot, and we'll hug the other knee up and in. And maybe interlace your fingers the weird way in front of the shin. So flat and yogic feet, pointed foot, flexed toes. We'll hold this for a breath or two. Pushing and pulling at the same time. And then when you're ready, take tree pose. So I said left foot to right thigh last time, but we could be on different legs. Sorry. Doing whatever you didn't do last time, and coming to the thigh or the ankle, avoiding the knee. Finding a place to gaze down upon and breathe and focus to balance. One more big breath in and out. And release, let go. Let's shake it out one more time. Kind of kick and shake the ankle, kind of like you're a dog. And then we'll give the wrist a gentle little patting, if you will. And then we're gonna come to the front of our mat, bring the feet so that they're hip width apart, if not wider. We're gonna do goddess squat, so if you want to turn your toes out, that might be helpful. And we'll just slow, and if you want a blanket behind you, that's also helpful underneath you, behind you. But we'll just take a nice little squat here. The elbows come inside the knees, and we settle as much as we can into the hips and lift our heart as much as we can. So the heels might be lifted, they might not be. Mine definitely are. Just trying our best to lift the heart. To find that cow posture within goddess squat. If you can press your heart towards the thumb knuckles, that's the goal. Okay, and then we're going to take our hands to the floor and just shift our weight back and forth to bring our toes to touch. So we're shifting all the way into a toe squat. So the toes and the knees come together. We're squatting, and then see if we can lift our hearts and balance. So balancing on the toes, we can bring our hands to the thighs or the floor beside you. But doing our best to do a little toe squat here. Oh, hands to prayer. Nice, Amy. Taking a big breath in and out. Okay, and then we're going to take our hands back down to the floor in front of us. One hand on either side of each leg. And lift that rib cage up nice and high. Drop the head. And we're going to walk our hands to the left, or whichever way you want to do first. Get your opposite arm to the outside of the opposite leg. And just lean and shift your weight a little bit here. Play around. Eventually, one day, this becomes an arm standing pose. You know, far, far, far away in the future, if you're me. And then we'll shimmy and walk our hands the other way. Get your opposite arm to the outside of the opposite leg. And we can just kind of play around here, what's available to us. Maybe an arm balance. I'm not recommending it, I'm just saying. It's there one day. And I definitely don't recommend doing it if you have never seen that posture before or done it. Okay, hands back to center. And we'll take goddess squat one more time. So just shimmy and shift your weight back and forth until the feet widen, and we can bring our elbows inside the knees and lift the heart. Doing our best to really settle into the hip creases here, feeling that low back expand. And then we're going to drop all the way down to our seat. If you can do it without making a crash and a bang, awesome. If you can do it falling, that's also really cool. And we're going to bring the soles of the feet together, knees apart, setting up for bound angle. Take your time to get there. I know we just came back to the floor. Maybe we rock from side to side a little bit. Figure out where the feet need to be, closer to you or further away. And then we'll grab hold of the ankles, pull the heart forward. Let's honor cow pose yet again today. Pressing that belly and heart forward, lifting the chin a little bit. And let's keep cow posture through the spine as we fold forward. And then when you've reached your limit, you can begin to let go into our cat phase if you want. If you want to stay through a cow spine, that's okay too. But it's the end of the day here, so usually a little bit of letting go is really helpful to get us ready for bed, to get us ready as we shift into slow-mo gear. Just letting the arms relax wherever they want to land. And letting the breath flow. This is a great pose to practice surrender. See if you can let the pose sort of take over the body, letting your body simply be, simply exist in this posture. Letting go of effort, letting go of trying. Continue to let the breath flow, non-stop, ceaseless breath. Let's take 5 more breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling deeply. Okay, slowly come up like a slinky, keeping that curve through the back until we come all the way up and then lifting the chin last. And just honoring this for a few moments here. Letting the legs relax open, letting the spine lengthen tall. And letting the breath flow. And then we're going to take our feet to the floor, knees up very gently. Take the feet nice and wide, wider than hip width, about as wide as your mat. And we'll take our elbows to the knees and then just kind of hang the head. So just a really very easy, gentle, relaxed pose. And just let yourself be supported here. All right, my friends, let's come all the way down to our back. So come all the way down. Look at that firmness and support of that hard floor. Settling in as we begin to dive even more deeply into surrender and relaxation, shifting into the last precious moments of class. Notice how the support of the floor with the back and the spine helps our breath. Notice if you can maybe take an even fuller breath than we've had so far. Noticing the belly rise and fall. And then we'll hug our right knee into our chest, interlacing the fingers in front of the shin. Hug it up and in. Give it a squeeze. If you would like, you can straighten the left leg. And then we're going to take this right leg across the body for reclining spinal twist. You can take the foot to the inside of the left thigh. That can be really nice. And reaching your right arm back and gazing over that shoulder. You can have the left hand on the left thigh as well. And seeing if we can just melt in whatever places feel like they're resisting a little bit, seeing if we can let go. But just enjoying the supine twist, which is really great for our low back. Filling the belly and low back with breath. To come out of the pose, we're simply going to place our feet back on the floor and wiggle the spine straight. So pick the hips up, scooch the shoulders further away from the tailbone, tuck the chin inwards, lengthen the crown of the head, finding a nice lengthened spine. Take a big breath in and out. Interlace your fingers the weird way. Hug the left leg up and in. And maybe extend the right leg long. Give it a little squeeze here. This is also nice for massage through the intestines and the organs. Great for our digestion. And then we'll give a little twist towards the right. You can rest the left foot on the right leg, right hand on left knee or thigh, gazing over the other shoulder. And settling into supine twist the other way. Take a few more big breaths in and out. And then we'll walk the feet back to the center of the mat. Lengthen the spine one more time, wiggling the shoulders further away from the hips. And let's windshield wipe those shins a few times, reaching the arms up overhead and shifting your way into Savasana in your own time. If there's any postures you want to take briefly before entering Savasana, feel free. Maybe yawning, maybe rocking back and forth, squeezing the knees. But entering Savasana when you're ready. Enjoying these last few precious moments of class. Absorbing whatever hard work you put in today. Letting go of effort and trying. And simply letting the breath flow. Let the skin of the face be soft. Relax the jaw and the eye sockets. And just let the pathways of the body be open. The joints nice and soft and supple. The head heavy. Letting that vital life energy course through you, mend and heal. Letting the breath be easy and natural and graceful, just simply flowing, witnessing it flow like you're watching water flow down a mountainside. Just swiftly flowing, unable to stop it, and just letting it happen. And begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle the fingers and the toes and draw the head from side to side. When you're ready, roll to the right side of your body, resting your head on your arm like a pillow. Holding close to your heart whatever benefits you're experiencing right now. Whatever goodness is going on, holding it close and remembering it very well. And we'll make our way to a seated posture, nice and slow. If you're near a wall, you can always lean against it. If you've got your blankets, you can always sit on them, so we can experience that optimal alignment to enjoy the last precious moment of class. Noticing how your body feels, noticing what's going on in the mind, or better yet, what's not going on in the mind. Noticing how the breath's flowing, and letting yourself sink into the present. Uniting body, mind, and soul here and now. Bringing the hands to prayer at heart center. Let's seal our practice in with a little reminder for any healing that needs to happen in us or in others. And bowing our heads in gratitude. Namaste.